Right now, an investigation is underway into a social media post comparing a football player to a slave.
Also, Aaron Rodgers is out for Sunday's game after testing positive for COVID-19. What the Packers are now doing and reaction from Coach LaFleur and fans.
And the latest from day 3 of the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. News 3 Now at 6 begins right now.
A racist picture involving high school students in Rock County has the attention of 2 school districts and 2 police departments.
Yeah, the image that we're about to share here was posted among Milton High School and Janesville Parker High School students on Snapchat. It features 2 images, one during a football game. We're going to hold up here a second. The 2 photos taken during a football game, one with an old drawing of a slave owner whipping a slave underneath. The 2 photos captioned, "Slave begs for mercy after master beats viciously." Now, the Milton School District officials have condemned the image, calling it abhorrent and said it has no place in the community.
Tahalil Mohadeen is live at Milton High School now with more. Tahalil?
It's important to note that neither of the students in that photo were involved in the making of that meme. Instead, it was made by another student who police are now investigating. Janesville police say they've been actively investigating the meme since this afternoon when they were tipped off by a school resource officer at Park High School. Now they're trying to determine if the student who created the image not only violated school policy, but the law.
The difference is that while there may be free speech issues at play here, the intent behind the message may make the act criminal.
Janesville police say they've hired a detective and are currently interviewing all of those involved. They couldn't say if the student's actions would qualify as a hate crime, but they say they are exploring that possibility. For the part of district officials, they say that they're done with their investigation and that they'll be disciplining that student according to school procedure.
Tahalil, thank you. A Madison East high school student under arrest in connection to a sexual assault that happened last month. Police say the incident occurred in the 100 block of Talmadge Street on October 10th. This 17-year-old was arrested on charges of second-degree sexual assault and strangulation. Now, district officials could not confirm if this was the same incident that led to the walkouts at Madison East.
And let's check your certified most accurate forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti.
Well, you can already feel a chill on the patio as the sun has gone down and those temperatures are starting to drop off. The live view from the Edgewater Skycam shows partly cloudy skies across southern Wisconsin. That'll be the case for tonight. It's possible you might be able to see the northern lights this evening as there's been an eruption on the sun, but it depends on whether or not we'll have enough cloud cover to block that. You can see some flurries of snow up in northeastern Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan, where the cloud cover is a little thicker. This morning, temperatures dropped into the teens north and west of Dane County. Here in Madison, we fell to 21. Look for high temperatures today were in the lower 40s. Madison and Janesville only reaching 43, and right now temperatures are already in the 30s. 37 Madison, 39 Janesville, down to 36 at the Baraboo Dells Airport. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will probably be back to around 30. We'll drop to around 26 or so around midnight, and then those temperatures will rise overnight. Tomorrow won't be quite as chilly with a high of 49, and that warming trend will continue into the weekend. I'll have more details in the forecast in a few minutes.
All right, Gary, thank you. Aaron Rodgers will not be suiting up this Sunday against Kansas City after testing positive for COVID-19.
Sports Director Zach Hanley joins us. And Zach, this is obviously a huge blow to the team.
Yeah, that might be an understatement. He's the reigning league MVP, the leader of the team, and now Rodgers is out for at least 10 days. If he's asymptomatic, he can return to the team the day before the Seahawks game. Matt LaFleur said he found out the news early this morning and then told the team that Rodgers not going to play against the Chiefs. So for the Packers this Sunday, it's that next man up mentality.
It's crazy, man. Gotta have that next man up mentality. But you know, it's the leader of our team. So yeah, it was just crazy news.
It's going around. It's happened. Our best receiver last week got it. So I mean, it's going around and just gotta kind of take the measures, precaution and measures that we can to stop it.
So Jordan Love will make his first start Sunday against the Chiefs, and Blake Bortles will be his backup. The Packers brought him in today, and after that, Randall Cobb, he played quarterback in college and in high school.
Now, back in August, reporters asked Rodgers about his stance on vaccinations and if he had received the shot. This was his response.
Yeah, I've been immunized. You know, there's guys on the team that haven't been vaccinated. I think it's a personal decision. I'm not going to judge those guys.
Rodgers says he received a homeopathic treatment in the offseason to boost his antibody levels and asked the league to be considered the same as a vaccinated player. The NFL denied his request and considered him unvaccinated. We got reaction from fans on the street on what they think of the situation.
Bummed out, disappointed, frustrated. Super Bowl hopes could be dashed now.
I mean, I feel like the team was trending up. You know, we were ranked #1 in the power rankings, and it's just kind of a bummer to hear right at this point in the season when we seem to have gathered all the momentum.
Maybe we might save $30 million next year.
The Packers will face off with the Kansas City Chiefs Sunday at 3:25 in the afternoon.
We're learning a little more information about why the Edgewood High School football team was disqualified from the state tournament. According to the WIAA, Edgewood used an ineligible student athlete. They would not say why that player was ineligible. The team is not facing other consequences at this point. Meanwhile, Kewaskum, the last team to lose to Edgewood, will be back in the tournament to play Columbus. A self-described social media influencer testified in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial and may give the jury a better look at what happened.
Rittenhouse is accused of shooting and killing 2 people, wounding a 3rd during anti-racism protests in Kenosha last year. Brady Mallory takes us to day 3 of the trial and shows us why the prosecution is looking at a Facebook Live video. Brady?
Well, prosecutors played about 10 videos in court today that showed what happened before, during, and after Rittenhouse allegedly killed 2 men and wounded another in Kenosha. In one of the bystander videos live streamed that night by Corey Washington, a social media influencer from Kenosha, Washington says he thought Rittenhouse was acting erratic and nervous. In his video, Rittenhouse can be seen running through the frame carrying a fire extinguisher. Washington says he also noticed Rittenhouse was wearing latex gloves. He says Rittenhouse caught his attention because he stood out in the crowd.
Kind of seemed like an interesting figure, so I just took a mental note of that. It wasn't anything, I wouldn't say malicious. I just, you know, a young person in a situation. Honestly, I would say it was mainly the gloves. I didn't know why he had the gloves on. It kind of stood out. So I was like, all right.
And previously in the trial, a witness said Rittenhouse wanted medical supplies like the gloves in case someone got hurt. Shortly after Rittenhouse is seen, you can hear a gunshot someone else fired. The defense says that shot made Rittenhouse think he was under attack. Prosecution says you can then hear 4 gunshots fired by Rittenhouse at Joseph Rosenbaum, the first man killed that night. As Rittenhouse's attorney has tried to prove he acted in self-defense, prosecutors argue Rittenhouse instigated the confrontation that led to the shootings.
Brady, thank you. A Madison man is being accused of a hate crime on the UW campus. 34-year-old Gary Stevens made his first court appearance today. Police say last month Stevens approached an Asian student and slapped a phone out of his hand and then used a racial slur aimed toward the student. Stevens was arrested last Saturday on separate charges, including disorderly conduct with a hate crime enhancer and bail jumping.
Wisconsin DHS is signing off on Pfizer's COVID vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11, saying it is safe and effective. The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine requires 2 doses 21 days apart for full protection. It is the only vaccine currently available for this age group.
Mild side effects can be common. Meaning reaction to the vaccine, flu-like symptoms that last a couple days, but they're generally mild and they go away.
SSM says it plans on hosting mobile clinics after school hours at local elementary schools. Parents will need to provide consent for their children to get a shot. Children's Wisconsin says it will try to get the kids' version of the COVID-19 as quickly as possible, but need to make sure they are safely delivered. While the children's vaccine is exciting, Dr. Michael Gutzeit says the best treatment is prevention.
All those mitigation strategies that we've been focusing on for the past year and a half are essential to continue.
He says Children's hopes to be able to give out vaccines to kids ages 5 to 11 as soon as next week.
Meanwhile, some parents are concerned the COVID-19 vaccine could impair their child's future fertility. Right now, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the CDC, and the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists say the vaccine does not affect fertility.
It unfortunately came from a bit of misinformation, and it got picked up in the press and propagated through social media.
She also says the vaccine won't affect puberty or permanently alter menstrual cycles. Any parent with vaccine concerns is urged to talk to your child care provider.
The gun deer hunting season starts in just a couple of weeks, and today DNR held a briefing on the upcoming season, during which they discussed a number of topics, including safety reminders and moving deer between chronic wasting disease affected communities.
There are some transport of carcass and carcass part regulations outside of those counties or to an adjacent county, and there's a list of them. It is on our website.
The season begins November 20th and runs until the 28th. Hunters can once again sight in their guns at the Dane County Law Enforcement Training Center starting this weekend. The annual sight-in begins Saturday and runs daily through November 19th. Hunters can bring their shotguns, rifles, and pistols to the center between 8:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. It costs $10 to sight the first gun and $5 for each additional one. Appointments are not needed and instructors will be available. Hearing and eye protection are required, but both will be provided if you don't have any. A new poll says Governor Evers and Senator Ron Johnson have some work to do if they want to be reelected.
Coming up with the governor's race in Virginia and also in New Jersey. Tell us about Wisconsin's midterm election. Stay with us.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is this weekend only. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only in the exhibition hall at the Alliant Energy Center, Madison.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers, and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
McGann Furniture in Baraboo reminds you to be sure to ask about delivery options when shopping for new furniture. Because every store is different. Some stores have very specific restrictions, while others charge you an arm and a leg. At McGann's, we take pride in our skilled delivery team, and in most cases, delivery is free. And remember, at McGann's, we don't inflate prices only to mark them down for a sale. Stop in today and discover the difference. You'll be glad you did. McGann Furniture, downtown Baraboo.
The snow, the ice, the bitter cold. The joys of a Midwestern winter. Keep your family warm, safe, and comfortable with 30% off Feltco windows and no interest for 1 year. Our energy-efficient windows will keep the harsh weather out and the heat in. So get those drafty windows replaced now.
30% off Feltco windows ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feltco.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is this weekend only. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only in the exhibition hall at the Alliant Energy Center, Madison.
A new Marquette Law School poll released today showing the results of a new statewide survey. It looked at state politics 1 year before the 2022 elections, particularly for Governor Evers and U.S. Senator Ron Johnson. Poll director Charles Franklin was on Live at 4 this afternoon.
These two potential candidates, incumbents, do face some challenges, a difficult electoral landscape right now.
Well, for governor, the poll found 40% of registered voters said they would vote to re-elect Governor Evers. 53% said they would vote for someone else. And for U.S. Senator, only 38% of respondents said they would vote for Senator Ron Johnson. Again, 52% saying they would vote for someone else.
Those poll numbers spell danger for Evers next year, but perhaps even more, so does last night's victory of a Republican governor candidate in Virginia, a swing state. Naomi Cole spoke with people who have spent years shaping Wisconsin politics behind the scenes, and here's what both parties say about next fall.
Wow. Tell me what last night's results in Virginia mean or don't mean for Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers next year.
We
always knew this was going to be a tough election cycle.
We need to get the Build Back Better Act passed.
It's really important to focus on kitchen table issues.
Clearly a shot across the bow.
Virginia's capital is nearly 1,000 miles away from where I'm standing right now. Dating back to 2002, 4 out of the last 5 of their governors were Democrats. Like us, Virginia is a famed swing state, and Republican strategists see Youngkin's win as a bellwether for Evers.
If he doesn't bring forward a forward-looking message that people can grab onto, he's going to struggle.
Poll numbers in Wisconsin today line up with that, but
I don't think you can be too quick to jump to where one side's going or where the other side's going.
For Democrats, the biggest reason for hope is last night's failure of an attempted recall of 4 Mequon-Thiensville school board members. I've said it before. Championed by frontrunner GOP governor candidate Rebecca Clayfish, with race issues at the center.
When extremism was on the ballot in Wisconsin, it was defeated pretty soundly.
Voters rejected that kind of radical politics in the Badger State, and not in a particularly Democratic-leaning area.
Republicans say Youngkin won in Virginia because he kept his platform close to home.
But there's a lot of truth to it, and that is all politics are local.
They hope suburbs that moved away from Trump last fall now show signs of returning next year.
Those are temporary shifts, and I think that Virginia foreshadows that for us.
This weekend, Wisconsin Democrats begin their own resurgence.
Don't mourn, organize.
With the goal of 100,000 voters reached this weekend with door knocking and phone banks.
We've got to pour everything we've got into this fight.
For News 3 Now, I'm Naomi Coles.
And coming up, we take a look at the impact the pandemic had on standardized test scores.
Plus, a sheriff looks to build a relationship with his community one bag at a time.
And then Gary has a full look at your forecast after a short break.
The grand opening of the all-new Ashley Home Store of Madison is on now. Don't miss grand opening specials up to 65% off while they last. Plus, get a free gift and spin the wheel to win a $5,000 shopping spree. The grand opening sale is on now at the Ashley Home Store of Madison on East Springs Drive.
Important healthcare announcement. If people tell you your TV is too loud, or if listening in some environments has become difficult, we are requesting your participation in a special program called the 30-Day Challenge. Hearing Life Hearing Centers are seeking people with hearing difficulties to evaluate a new digital mini hearing aid now being released. To take part in this event, you must call. Please get a pencil and write down the number below. All people with hearing aids or hearing difficulties are wanted to take part in the 30-Day Challenge, evaluating a new high-tech device that sits discreetly behind your ear. This hearing aid is Bluetooth enabled and is rechargeable. All hearing assessments are performed at no charge for those taking part in the challenge. Participants will try these hearing aids for 30 days. Call the number below and take the Hearing Life 30-Day Challenge.
Are you sick of the areas of your home being cold in the winter or hot in the summer? Your house is a complete system of components that need to work together, similar to the human body. Just like us, your home needs to breathe too. If we're letting our home breathe fresh air, we'll be healthier and regulate our temperature better. Wouldn't it be great if we could show you all the areas needing improvement in just minutes without tearing the house apart? That is what our thermal imaging does for you. It will show the temperature differences and areas of air exchange. Then you'll know what areas need to be improved. Just like going to the doctor, except these doctors do house calls. This will also help in preventing the entrance of harmful pollutants inside your house. You can now easily bring down the energy bills and have a durable and safe home environment with Fry Construction. Visit fryconstruction.com to schedule your free professional house call with a thermal imaging and insulation specialist.
Welcome back. Here is something you do not see very often inside a grocery store. A group of deputies, including Sheriff Calvin Barrett, who's being called upon as a celebrity beggar this afternoon at Metcalf's at Hilldale Mall. He says it's an opportunity for the department to meet with the community and build relationships with the people who live here. Sheriff Barrett today also taking a fun jab at the UW football program.
I am actually enjoying this opportunity to learn. I do have to say that Coach Alvarez needs to step his game up at camp because all the football I played against Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan has not prepared me for this moment right here of bagging groceries because it's real.
Sheriff Barrett played for UW football team under Barry Alvarez and graduated from the university in 2000.
Standardized school test results are in, and it shows the pandemic and lockdowns took a toll. Chris Stanford has this week's Eye on Education.
Today we're looking at math results pre-pandemic compared to last spring. They're from the Forward exam, which tests 3rd through 8th graders and 10th graders. You'll remember state testing in 2020 was canceled. We're going to look at Madison, Middleton Cross Plains, Sun Prairie, and Verona. This change shows the number of students who were at least proficient in math this year versus 2019. As you can see, the numbers are way down across the board. When you look at these numbers, though, you need to consider this. Participation was also down this spring, and if the student doesn't take the test, that hurts the proficiency score. You can see, though, here, scores dropped more than the participation rates. The State Department of Public Instruction wants everyone to consider the circumstances.
When we look at these assessment results, we must remember the challenges our students encountered this past school year. These were extraordinary circumstances that caused a lot of instability and impacted individuals and communities in different ways.
Now, the results certainly don't paint the entire picture, but it does give us an idea of how the pandemic impacted learning. DPI says the results are one factor districts can consider to adjust. I'm Chris Stanford. Back to you.
Well, let's go to Gary with your certified most accurate forecast.
Cool day today across southern Wisconsin, and even though we had some sunshine, 3 things you need to know in the forecast. It won't be quite as chilly tomorrow. High temperatures will be back into the upper 40s, and part of that is because it won't be quite as cold tonight. We'll have a little more cloud cover, but the mild weather is still on the way for the weekend. Look for high temperatures to be back in the 50s for Friday and Saturday. By Sunday and Monday, we should be at or above the 60-degree mark, and the dry weather now looks like it'll continue into Wednesday of next week. Probably see some shower or thunderstorm chances by late morning or early afternoon on Wednesday. Low temperatures this morning were pretty chilly across much of the upper Midwest. Madison was one of the colder spots at 21 degrees, but many locations were below freezing. And as we check out current temperatures, you can see there's a little milder weather out to the west of us. We're in the 30s already now that the sun has gone down, but temperatures climb into the 40s and 50s out to the west, and some of that milder air is starting to head in our direction. And you can see on Weather Track right now, our upper level winds are right out of the north, bringing down colder air from Canada. But out to the west, that jet stream starts to push back to the north. So milder weather is already starting to develop across the western part of the country, and the next storm system is moving more northeastward into southern Canada. That will also get the winds down near the ground out of the south and southwest over the next couple of days. As we look at the surface weather map, high pressure is almost directly overhead, so that'll give us light winds for tonight, but again, that'll be offset a little bit by a little more cloud cover than we had last night, so temperatures probably won't be quite as cold. In fact, they actually may start to rise toward early tomorrow morning, but right now we're already in the 30s. You can see out to the west some 40s across parts of Minnesota and Iowa. As we check out future track, those light winds overhead tonight with partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow we'll see more clouds in the morning, maybe a little more sunshine in the afternoon, but notice the wind direction back out of the southwest, so that'll bring temperatures up close to 50 degrees. Tomorrow night should be clear, but notice the winds continuing out of the south, so low temperatures will drop to the lower 30s, and then on Friday that southerly wind flow continues, so high temperatures will probably be in the lower to middle 50s on Friday. Next weather system, notice to the west, that'll be tracking more to the north and east, so the winds out ahead of it continue out of the south, so even as we head towards Saturday, there'll be a few more clouds up to the north of us, and maybe even a couple of showers in northern Wisconsin early on Saturday morning, but that southwesterly wind flow will continue, keeping our temperatures above normal as we head from the weekend into the early part of next week. So for tomorrow, skies will be variably cloudy, not quite as cool as today, high temperature topping out at 49 degrees, and the 7 to 10 day forecast brings our temperatures up a couple of degrees each day, 53 Friday, 56 Saturday, 60 on Sunday, and 61 on Monday. Now, a storm system in the middle part of next week will bring some rain showers, maybe even a couple of isolated thunderstorms from Wednesday afternoon into Thursday. But then as a cold front comes through, the low temperatures drop off, and so do the high temperatures, but it might be cold enough at night to maybe mix in a few flurries of snow late Thursday night into early Friday morning, and then again Friday night into early Saturday morning. Nothing that should stick to the ground, but temperatures will be back below normal by early next week.
And coming up in sports, the Wisconsin women's hockey team is skating with super sophomores. What the Badgers say McKenna Webster's fast start isn't a surprise. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It's no secret, Robertson is Wisconsin's aesthetic leader, but with results this natural, patients can keep it a secret if they want. Our secret to reducing stubborn body fat, Cool Sculpting Elite, the newest technology available. Book a free consultation to learn how Cool Sculpting is different at Robertson.
Seeing the joy that people feel when they share a meal with family and friends, that's why we do this. The laughter of kids around the table, the thrill of families driving through for a treat, the delight of not having to cook, and instead letting us safely serve you. It all comes back to taking care of each other. And for that, we'll be here with your favorites, and always a smile.
Those brave men and women of our armed forces, generations of them. Why should today's burdens fall back onto them? They were there for us. Now let's be there for them. Your local Wisconsin energy providers and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund are working together to deliver Wisconsin veterans in crisis heat, power, and help staying in their home. But they can't do it alone. Call to donate today.
I have worked at Huffcore for the last 36 years.
Huffcore closing the plant, moving production to Mexico.
I gave my life and my body to that place. Ron Johnson pushed through a tax law that rewards outsourcing. Companies can bring profits back from Mexico tax-free. And worse, Ron Johnson profited personally from outsourcing. He has doubled his wealth since taking office. Tell Ron Johnson to stop putting his profits above our jobs.
What is all this?
We call them options.
Options? Don't make me laugh.
Unbeatable selection without the drama. 2 pair plus a free eye exam as low as $59.95.
Cold and flu season is knocking on the door, and Time for Kids is here to help.
We'll give you tips for keeping pesky respiratory bugs off your doorstep.
And temperatures are starting to slowly climb. We'll take a look at your forecast tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 7.
The Badger women's hockey team is in the middle of preparing for their weekend series with Bemidji State, but McKenna Webster is still receiving honors from a performance in Mankato. The Wisconsin sophomore took home her 3rd honor of the week today after being named the National Player of the Month. Now, in 12 games, Webster has already scored 12 goals and dished out 15 assists, and her production on the ice isn't a shock to any of her teammates.
Since 10th grade at Shattuck, when we first started playing together, I knew she was a special player. She works so hard. Every practice, she competes every game. And so I expect this from her. She's that good, and I think a lot of people who have been around her have seen it from the beginning. This year, I think confidence is the biggest thing. She just looks more confident with the puck on the ice. She knows that she should have the puck, and I think she's playing like that.
Gary?
Well, skies are partly cloudy right now. Temperatures already cooling off pretty quickly. Live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison. Pretty quiet out there. 37 right now in Madison. It's already below freezing up toward the Dells, and those temperatures will continue to drop, but probably until about midnight. I'm looking for temperatures to fall into the mid-20s by midnight, be back into the upper 20s by tomorrow morning. High tomorrow 49, and then those temperatures warm up through the weekend with some rain chances about the middle of next week.
All right, Gary, thank you. And thank you for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.